Welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. Today we're going to be looking at the finished, completed Gambody Warwick truck and tanker. But before we do that, roll those credits. Right, welcome back. Now, this project is done. It's taken quite a while, I'd say from start to finish. For both parts of this, it's taken me a good 6 weeks. Final measurements, 1.9 metres long this is. For our friends across the pond, that's 75 inches. Now, obviously this was done at 170%, so it's bigger than usual. The tanker went together really well. You've got the main body, which is made up of 10 pieces. They go together with G-locks. There is a lot of G-locks on the tanker. Tanker alone has 130 G-locks. So that's a lot. Chassis went together well. It was a real tight fit getting the chassis onto the tanker body. Needed a little bit of persuading with a hammer, but it went in and it is tight. That is not coming out again. Now, paint. So, airbrushing this wasn't viable. So this was done with plastic coat super matte rattle can all over it. I then used the Vallejo rust and stain kit. I think it's dark rust, light rust and orange rust are the 3 colours I used. Now, whereas on the truck I used a sponge to apply the rust, as soon as I started I realised it was going to take me a month of Sundays just to do the rust on the tanker body. So on this one I actually airbrushed the rust. For the cars and stuff like that I still used a sponge, but for the chassis and the tanker body I airbrushed that just because I didn't have that much time to be able to just do it, apply it with a sponge. It was going to take me forever. Right, now, for the time being, this is going to have to stay on this table because there's not actually anywhere in my workshop where this will actually fit until I go and get a new shelf and build a new shelf specifically for this, which is going to take up sort of one back end of my workshop. I've got to say, I think this is probably one of my favourite models. I've done previous work by this designer, and I've got to say, he has got the details on this absolutely spot on. Everything on this is correct. So big shout out to him because this model is fantastic. Even down to sort of on the tanker body, there's sort of like surfaces that are showing rust, like it's actually built onto it. It is a fantastic model. The only thing that I did find is with the wheel bearings on both the truck and the tanker, some of mine were free moving, some of them weren't. Again, that's not down to the files. More than likely when I did the bearings I was doing them on a new printer. The profile still needed some tweaking in order to get them bearings to run super smooth. So that's the only downside, but again, that's down to me, not to the model. For how much this model is, I think it's 100% worth it. If you want to spend a bit of time doing a large model like this is both enjoyable to print and really enjoyable to paint. I think if you was to do both of these at 100% scale, I wouldn't be surprised if you could knock out all the pieces to this in sort of 2 weeks. And I may be wrong, but I'm sure all the pieces are sized for an Ender 3. The printers I've been doing this on are longer LK4 Pros, a Prusa, an Ender. The only parts that couldn't fit on them was the pieces of the tanker body. They had to go on my Sidewinder, which is a 400 by 400 build plate. But again, that's because I scaled up to 170%. They would only fit on that printer. So while that print was dedicated to doing them, the rest of the printers knocked out all the other pieces, and they did them super well as well. So I'm calling this project done and move on to the next one. A couple of people have asked how much filament was used on this. I'm pretty sure it's probably around the 20 kilo mark, if I'm honest. I wouldn't be surprised if this is weighing sort of 16 kilo done and 4 kilos on supports. Although the chassis and the tanker body and the wheels don't really have that much support on the tanker, the cars and everything, hell of a lot of supports in them because they're printed in half and they're printed flat. And on the truck, hell of a lot of supports on parts of the truck, just because of the way some of the parts are. So again, I reckon I've used about 20 kilo, and I should imagine this is around the 6 kilo mark weighing finished. But I hope you've enjoyed this final part on this video series. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll do some close-ups for you now so you can see it in more detail, and we'll catch you on the next video. So thanks a lot, see you soon.